Yeah, for some odd reason, I really had a hard time twisting my arm today. I actually had to twist my arm to come here and talk to myself, which is kind of odd if you think of it, because what else does one do in one's head? This is the first time I've left my flat today. I was really looking forward to uni. Sadly, I did manage to pass out just before I was due to go. It's not too bad because it's like the first time I'm missing and it's an elective, so it's two reasons it's not of a concern. Still, I really like the class, I like the people, and I like the tutor. He's actually a prof, so I really like the prof as well. It's a shame I missed it, but didn't have no energy, I guess. I went to bed at like midnight, and I couldn't sleep till like 7:30 a.m, which is way too late. Like at that time, there's no point in going because you aren't going to be much of a human. Well, accused human. You aren't going to be much of a person. There we go. That solves the species issue. I was really looking forward to it just because I like the class and all that. And I didn't go. It's just weird, but I guess that's what you do when you're sleep deprived. Not even stop playing video at midnight, but I guess it don't make a difference if your mind's racing. One thing I find odd is I'm perfectly fine with language changing over time. I've accepted it as is. Language changes over time. And though I'm not fond of things like the transformation from the literal sense of literally to the figurative sense of literally being figuratively, which is kind of messing with the basic construct of what I know as language, then again, language will just evolve once again. I mean, incredible used to mean something. As in, someone is not credible, they're incredible. Because it must be a bit crazy. Like, immediately. Please call this phone number immediately upon. Please call this phone number immediately, written in a letter on a piece of paper. If you open it up at like 4 a.m, in my opinion, you should call immediately, as in as soon as you can, or right away, actually. I think it was more about lines of ASAP, but same difference, you know. It's not based on the other party's availability, but on mine, and is on a piece of paper that they've sent to me. Question then is, do you have to call them back if they don't answer the first time? Because realistically, you've done your duty. You've called them. I mean, obviously, if you write immediately or without delay or whatever you want on a piece of paper, the other party's not going to know your opening hours or availability or whatsoever. So it makes sense to write that long. In that case, it wasn't written along. So one have to assume you're available 24/7 if you write something like that, I guess. The easy way to solve that is as soon as possible within our opening hours, brackets, parentheses for the Americans, opening hours. Solves the problem. Or soon is good enough, really, because if you receive a letter, I mean, letters in the mail for most couple of 3 days. Soon is within a week. You don't even have to say within a week. I mean, soon in that case is within a week. Unless it's something that's been going on for months, in which case they can wait another month. Yeah, I think having the window wasn't the greatest for production standpoint, but I'm not producing this. I did get to play some video games yesterday. I played like from 7 p.m. till midnight. One continuous session, no breaks. Finally. I mean, people need hobbies apparently. One thing that's odd with social media, like Instagram also, I do daily publish on Instagram, is you fucking depend on a computer, on an algorithm, and that's all you depend on. Like, I'm putting my stuff there because if I don't, no one's going to see it, but if I do put it there, it's up to a computer who sees it, and if anyone sees it at all. Which seems really odd as well, as humans. I mean, we as humans, if I show it to someone, they like it. But they don't even see it with social media because that's how algorithms work, I suppose. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention yesterday, I believe so, is I got a feedback from a former tutor, now prof, not of mine, but in general, and former tutor of mine, on a paper, and she was apparently really satisfied with the paper I'd written. I hadn't realised because the feedback was like, oh, you missed this perspective, but besides that, great job, and I focused on the missed bit. Which I guess is just the diffidence I'm suffering from. Like, lowish self-esteem, or low self-esteem, not lowish, really. And I do still believe the main cause for that is simply society thinking differently to the way I do. Not in the way that anti-vaxxers do also, but in the literal way, not figurative. Not, I'm not able to comprehend some things society can't, but the wires are just run differently. It's different logic. Obviously, Plato's logic, I believe it is, makes sense, but, and I completely agree with it, to be fair, but not everything you can actually fit into nice little drawers. Same way with logic. Like, you have to assume some things, and society appears to assume a lot of things that I'm not willing to assume, which then just becomes an ethical, moral question. Huh. Weather's alright today, it's a bit windy. Let me see the temperature. It's 18°C, so it's pretty neat. I'm still considering putting on shorts on the regular in the near future, just because weather's good enough in my opinion. Sixth smoke of the calendar day or so. I usually step in front of the door to smoke, but today I haven't had the energy, so I did actually smoke at the kitchen window, making sure to keep the smoke outside the window, that is, of course. I wouldn't want one's flat to smell of smoke. Surprise, or at least I wouldn't. I guess some people would, some people just don't care. I care too much. I don't like the smell of cold smoke once it have cooled down. It's like a wet ashtray. It's just things you don't like, or I don't, at least. As humans, we should be hardwired to not like the idea of smoke in general. But here I am inhaling it, so yeah. Just because of the evolutionary aspect of fire no good, fire kill you. Ooh, a magpie. And it's gone. Yeah, there's actually a magpie nest like 3 meters as a crow fly above me. It's odd, I have to force myself to try and talk to the camera, to myself, just to get some shit off my mind. I mean, I have it on my mind anyways. But if it doesn't come out here and has the potential of being heard by someone, I suppose, or everyone, depending on how you want to see it, just takes weight off one's shoulders. Articulating one's thoughts toward others. I guess that's one aspect of the human experience. It's a reason for therapy in the end of the day. A lot of the time, not only, of course. Yeah, next week I got a busy week, but not much uni, and I'm quite happy about that. But I do actually got to do some uni video tasks sometime. I'm aiming to shoot one of those day after tomorrow. Fingers crossed it works so far. No actors are signed up. Worst case, I'll have to act myself. It's not like I'm going to use the face anyway. Only heavily modified to the point where it's not recognisable as a human being. It's the essence of human, or of a being, not especially human. And I should probably figure out how to do Adobe Aero with textured models as well, because I figured it out with regular models, untextured. But I've still got to figure out the aspect of importing textures for uni as well, of course. Because I believe if I was to do something on my leisure time, I'd actually do it with proper 3D tracking. Because I'm perfectionist, and for uni is if the tutors, the profs are happy, and if I don't do something for uni, I'll do it for myself. It's if I'm happy. So it's a higher standard, I suppose. Because I'm my biggest critic. I only just realised I haven't eaten all day yesterday and today. Another thing is I didn't actually manage to shower yesterday. Well, yesterday's calendar day. I did manage to shower yesterday's waking phase, but that means I went 3 consecutive calendar days, 72 hours without a shower, which is kind of meh. Don't like it. But at the end of the day, I managed to shower before I would have gone to uni anyway. So the human interaction aspect's fine. I managed to shower before I went to bed, which means I'm fine. For myself, that is. Because 72 hours unshowered going to bed is kind of meh. Then again, I got all my rings full at like 7 a.m. today on the watch, that is. I have the target set to the lowest possible, but it still means 10 minutes of exercise or heavy movement. 6 hours of what the watch considers standing, which I get in bed a lot of the time because apparently that's what insomnia does to you. You stand in bed, according to Apple. I am ever so slightly concerned, not in the back of my mind, but in the front of my mind, because I'm even articulating it, that eventually shit's going to catch up with me and I'm going to have fallen behind too far, like either with uni or some other career stuff like internship or whatever. And I really don't want to reach that point, but I also don't want to burn myself out too hard. I mean, I'm chronically an autistic burnout by the feel of it, at least. Don't also want regular burnout. One thing I have realised in the past is the moment I formalise a project of mine, like actually make it a formal project, an official thing, like publish a blog or so, it loses its appeal to me. I mean, I like writing. I've written a few thousand words in, well, a few thousand words per essay actually, in like dozen and a half, 2 dozen essays, just for myself to articulate things. Even had some of them proofread by a fellow friend. But the moment I managed to figure out how to set up a blog and stuff, I couldn't be asked to write no more. Which is, I guess, why I'm doing this on the phone and phone exclusively. I managed to get some more kitchenware in the form of a hip flask. I've been looking to get one now. Finally have one. Finally. Took me long enough. Yesterday after the videos, I did actually manage to do like a leisurely drive of 70k, which brings me up to a total of like 90k yesterday. With current diesel prices, that's like 12, 13, 14 euros. Probably more than I should be spending on leisurely activity, but gives me space mentally and energetically. I mean, from physical energy, it does drain it driving, but from mental energy, it's like null effort, which is amazing because I have practically none of those. I guess depending on the video games can do the same. Also physically draining though. Third smoke within 20 minutes. Whew. And though I managed to put on completely new clothes after showering, I still haven't done my laundry. It's all still in the machine. I'll still auto get it out and fold up. Don't think I'll do it today though because I don't got the energy. Same old, same old. No bloody energy. Get me one of those 350 kilowatt chargers what I can plug into. Looking forward to going to the mailbox after this because my paper will have arrived, weekly paper. Something to read to try and fall asleep to. Should probably also do my dishes sometime. They've been in the sink for the best part of the month. I'm gonna make sure to change the water every now and then so it don't start smelling or growing stuff. But still longer than it ought to be. I guess that's student life. I did buy myself a new toy for approximately 25 euros. Heads up display for the car, GPS speedometer, tachometer. Mounted to the dash, have a reflection in the windscreen and see how quick you're going in actual speed, not in tachometer speed. Without 10% tolerance, 5% tolerance, whatever it have, depending on your speed you're going. In the past I've used 15-year-old GPS Navi for that. But I'll finally be able to remove that and make space for potential future navi. Not like I can justify the expense, a proper one that is, considering we have phones and stuff, and I don't go off grid, at least I haven't within the recent years. Yeah, but eventually I'd love a navi where you can actually put in the parameters of your vehicle, so you don't get navigated somewhere you can't actually go or fit, like width or height wise. And that show you the accurate speed limit that is most likely where you currently are, because with 15-year-old ones, it's more often outdated than not, just because speed limits change, I suppose, as infrastructure changes. Like the main road here, well, not right in front, but off the block, the main road, that shows 70 and is 60 in parts 30. So, yeah. Week and a half and the tea shop will be back. Tea house. I've been meaning to drink tea in my flat, but I've only been doing it like on average once every couple of days, like 3 or 4 units. I mean, I've drunk approximately 20 litres of tea in 19 days, so I guess that's something. Japanese gyokuro from House Nakatani. It's bad for your teeth though. Leave a horrendous coating on them. You really need to brush them after. Well, I do. Then again, I'm likely to brush my teeth after 3 cigarettes in a row within 25 minutes, which is what this here is. I'm probably going to go to bed early tonight, even though I slept till like 9 AM, 10 AM. I did only sleep like 3 hours, 4 hours, so do make sense. Strongly dislike the aspect of not having been able to get up today or stay up, depending on how you want to see it, to go to uni, because I really want to visit a course. It's only an elective, but I like it anyways. And I like having better attendance than the profs on average do. Well, profs/tutors. Profs usually show, tutors occasionally do not. Well, more than occasionally. Commonly do not. But even with profs, sometimes they put lectures online because they don't feel like coming onto campus, or there's no availability for rooms on campus. And then you show up at the campus and you're told, oh, it's online. I sent a message 15 minutes ago. Which is kind of meh, because I believe more than half the students have a commute that's greater than 15 minutes. I for mine do. Then again, can't blame them. I'm sure they have their reasons, and I'm sure they make sense for them. At the end of the day, it's their lecture. If they want to hold it online, or they feel like they have to, fair enough. Though sometimes I do wonder why one can't be informed early about that. I mean, I'd love it if they updated the schedule minimum 24 hours before, just because it's a pain in the arse to look at. It's like based on a 2007 web interface. Which means the design is not responsive, as in on phone looks potato, you have to zoom in to be able to read anything. And then zoom out again to push buttons, which are located in a total of 3 or 4 different menus depending on how you want to look at it. And you have to sometimes choose an option in a specific menu, though it exists in multiples. Just because if you choose it in others, the following menus do not appear. So you actually have to know to navigate the school schedule, uni schedule. Which is odd considering the year is 2023. I mean, it's now a 15-year-old design. Feels like, at least. I know the iOS app is. That's like iOS 7. So 10-year-old design, not 15. Okay, yeah. But that's for the app, that is. Was supposed to get an update. Hasn't been updated in 3 years. And then it was only security, bug fix updates. Well, security, not even bug fixes. Like the bugs that do currently persist have persisted as long as the app has existed according to the iOS App Store reviews. It's also funny being able to say the iOS App Store reviews because there's supposed to be more, but I don't got the energy to fight that fight. Luckily, there is people who do fight that fight for the benefit of us all. Yeah, I'm gonna roll up the window and then cut this. Get my paper. Maybe see if I eat something before I go to sleep. Probably play another game of video or so. We'll see. I'll try to record another one of these tomorrow. Sit here, talk to myself. Yeah, hopefully later tomorrow, fingers crossed, Daumen gedrückt. I'll see you.